Hey, it's the right weekend, and I'm gonna take a little. I'm gonna talk about my favorite, some of my two things I love to talk about. My two favorite subjects: sports and politics. I'm gonna combine them into a show today because I just don't. Everybody's talking about Ukraine, and everybody wants to talk about the Russia Ukraine conflict, and I just don't want to get into it. I just think just briefly, I just think a no-fly zone will just be it's just uh, ludicrous. It's just going to make things worse. And yep, that's it. That's all. I just think that's crazy. I was thinking about talking about that, but I just wanted to just touch on it briefly. What I really wanted to talk about is what's going on in New York City. Like I said, I'm a huge sports fan. Born and raised in New York City. I'm a Mets, Giants, Knicks, Rangers fan. Um, in my lifetime, I've seen all of them win the championships. I mean, growing up, I saw Mets, Giants winning a championship. Well, I shouldn't say all my teams because the Knicks haven't won in my lifetime. Excuse me, one team that has it. Rangers won in '94. I saw that. So, anyways, but what's going on with this employee mandate in New York City? I don't know if, for people who don't like sports, I'm sorry, but this also has to do with like the employee mandate that they have in New York City. Kyrie Irving, this was a stupid, stupid. So for people who don't know, Kyrie Irving's plays point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. So because of the employee mandate, he cannot play games at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But he, since all the other mandates have been lifted in New York, he was able to buy a ticket and go to the game that his team was playing in against the Knicks. And because he went to the locker room, the NBA fined him $50,000. Okay. Can you please make this make sense? Okay. I got a couple articles here talking about I'm not a Yankees fan, but I'm going to talk about both teams in the sense because baseball season is about to start. Thank God. But you got there's from my understanding, there's a lot more Mets players that are unvaccinated than Yankees players. But one of the Yankees' big stars, Aaron Judge, is not vaccinated. Now, here's the whole problem. You're gonna have, because of this stupid employee mandate, which I don't know how it's not unconstitutional that the city is mandating this stuff. So let's say you have half the players on the Mets might not be able to play home games, 81 home games. Now, I think, for the Nets, it's 81 games. I mean, for the Nets, it's 41 games that they play because it's 82 game season for basketball. It's 162 games for baseball. So we're talking about 41 games. Now, baseball is 81 games. Now, granted, I think all the Knicks, are vaccinated. The vast majority of the Nets are vaccinated, so it's not a big deal. It's a big deal in baseball. You're talking about 81 games per team, so 162 games per for the city. And you're talking about a bigger portion. These games generate revenue for New York City. Okay, whether it's players. Fans are not going to want to go to home games where they know that they're going to miss out. Let's say Brandon Nimmo on the Mets. I think Pete Alonso, I think, might not be vaccinated. Like I said, Aaron Judge. They just they're about to re-sign Anthony Rizzo. Um, these are players, major players on these teams that are not playing. Fans are not going to want to pay for tickets to go see, the Mets and Yankees playing and not and miss out on their big stars. Like, when I'm mistaken, I think also Mets ace pitcher Jacob deGrom is not vaccinated. So that means he'll never be able to pitch a home game because of this stupid rule. So I just wanted to show this brief clip of yesterday, the governor of New York dropping the puck at a Rangers game.
Governor Kathy Hochul, the first female governor of New York State. Buffalo area, served in Congress, and was twice elected lieutenant governor. Here to drop tonight's ceremonial first puck, a champion of women's rights and the great state of New York. Please welcome Governor Kathy Hochul.
So if this is hockey, okay, and hockey, if I'm not mistaken, majority of their players are vaccinated also. Could you imagine the boos Eric Adams is going to get, the new mayor of New York City? Can you imagine the boos he'll get at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium when if he decides to go and, let's say, throw the first pitch? Can you imagine the raucous boos that he's going to get? I wouldn't even be surprised if they throw stuff on the field with that. But look, you're talking about, even during the midst of the pandemic, look, people were still able to go outside. Outdoor events were okay. So now you're talking about a sport that's like baseball that's played outdoors, but they can't play because of this stupid mandate in New York City. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm not attacking, I'm not attacking the vaccine. Okay. I'm attacking the mandate. It's stupid. Okay. It's unproductive. Okay. There has not been one athlete that's died of COVID, because COVID doesn't affect COVID hasn't killed these athletes. These are athletes that are in, for the most part, in peak physical condition. COVID's not going to kill them. We just finished the Omicron wave. It looks like things, everything's starting to open up because the numbers are going down. It looks like this is something we're going to have to live with. It's going to be it's no longer a pandemic, but it's it's going to be seasonal. That's what it's appearing to be. It's not my opinion. This is what's going on. But make it make sense, New York City. Make it make sense. But to me, now here's where I'm going to go. This will show you that this has nothing to do about health. This has to do about control. And when humans are fearful, they are easily controlled. Okay. And this mandate doesn't make sense. Like I said, Kyrie Irving could buy a ticket and go to the basketball game that he was supposed to play in and watch the game, in the front row, but couldn't play in the game. So the same thing with, let's say, the Mets and Yankees players. They won't be able to play in the game, but they could watch it from the stands or from the dugout. That's stupid. These players are playing with each other. And then every other series, they're playing with these players that are unvaccinated. Let it go already. Let it go. Eric Adams, let it go. Okay, let it go. End this ridiculous mandate. It's sad that it may take baseball, a sport, to end this ridiculous mandate, but it needs to end. Biden lost in the courts with OSHA. How this is still okay in New York City, I have no idea. If Biden was not able to implement it through OSHA, how is it that New York City is able to do this? Can someone explain that to me in the comment section on social media? Explain that to me. How is it that it got defeated in the courts for the federal mandate, but it's okay in New York City? Make it make sense. Okay, please make it make sense. And I just want it to make sense. That's all. I just feel like, I don't know.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
That's how I feel right now. It's like, am I the only one that's crazy? Obviously not, but it needs to make sense. Stop it, New York. Stop it, country, with, stop it trying to put these mandates in, especially with no exemptions. Okay. They say, oh, well, you have to take the vaccines to go to school. Yes, but there's exemptions. There's religious exemptions, there's conscientious exemptions. Why do we not have this? There's companies that are not, they're BSing you that they're going to give you a religious exemption, and then when you file for the religious exemption, they deny it. So this is going around the country, not just New York City. That's why, I'm talking about this just because it's New York City, but you got companies across the country that are doing this. And we need to stand in solidarity with these with these workers, because we have rights. Just because we work for these companies doesn't mean they should be able to mandate these things for us. Because at the end of the day, let's say someone gets a bad reaction to the vaccine, you can't sue the vaccine company. Then you know what? Maybe some of these people who get vaccine injuries should sue the employers who are mandating it. How about that? You get sued for the millions of dollars that we can't sue the vaccine manufacturers that they've been made immune. How about that? Is that a compromise? You want to mandate, as a company, you want to mandate the vaccine, then we're going to sue you if something happens. As a family member, if something happens to our loved ones, we're going to sue you. How about that? Nobody should be protected from liability, not even the vaccine companies. So if we can't sue the vaccine companies, we should be able to sue the employees who are mandating this. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. I just think this, like I said, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills right now with this stuff. I'm the Ray Rican. You can follow me on YouTube and Rumble. You can also interact with me on social media. I don't know what's going with Truth. I don't have an iPhone, so I'm just waiting for when they do Android. Right. With that being said, have a good one, everyone.